Tonight, our speaker is Bob Prince from Tuscaloosa. He practices with the law firm of Prince & Glover. He's a trial lawyer, and he is now the president of the Alabama Trial Lawyers Association, having previously held virtually every responsible position in that organization over the last few years. He's coached the University of Alabama ATLA trial team since 1984, and he has obtained several multi-million-dollar verdicts during his career, including a $47 million toxic tort verdict in 2001. He is a graduate of the University of Alabama Business School and a graduate of the University of Alabama Law School. It's an honor and a privilege for me to present to you tonight Mr. Bob Prince.
Thank you. Well, I'm back again. You can't get rid of me. That not only was a very good introduction, that was the prettiest introduction I think I've ever had. It is a pleasure to be back with you. I want to thank Alan for inviting me back to the People's Law School. I get asked every single time, what is the People's Law School? And so let me, for the benefit of the audience that watches this on TV or whatever, it's the greatest group of adult people in Huntsville, Alabama that come and learn about the law from different speakers. How's that? Is that about right? And tonight it's my privilege to talk to you. I'm going to be talking some about insurance, but I thought I might just throw it open and see if anybody had any questions about anything since I've been up here before and given talks. Anybody have any questions?
Bob, you talk about these large trucking companies. Who are you alluding to? Can you tell us specifically some names?
Well, they probably wouldn't want me to give you names of trucking companies, but I'm always talking about the big corporations and how they sort of run the country. And so tonight I might just talk about some of the insurance. Since my talk will be devoted a little bit to insurance, I thought I might just talk a little bit about that. So I'm glad you asked that question. And yes, I know my sheet is blank, but hopefully it won't be. Who am I talking about when I talk about big insurance companies? Well, I'm talking about oil companies, tobacco companies, and insurance companies. Those are the big ones. And those are the ones that I say have spent millions, in fact, billions of dollars over the last several years to really run our country. When I was in law school, somebody said, insurance companies run the world. Well, I'm starting to think that maybe they do. Let me show you why I say that. I'm just going to talk about insurance tonight. We'll save oil companies and tobacco companies for another night. I know most of y'all know this, but I just want to go, we're going to do Insurance 101 since this is a people's school here. How does insurance work? First of all, just a very simple, plain example. By the way, I'm going to take my watch off. Y'all know what that means when a speaker does that? Absolutely nothing. Here's how insurance works. Let's say you pay $10. 99 other people pay $10. So 100 of y'all pay $10 into a pool of money, $1,000. The company does what's called a risk analysis. They determine what the chances are of something happening, and then they charge you a premium based on that risk. So if the insurance company determines, they've got what's called actuaries, number crunchers. Some people call them bean counters, but they just run numbers, the statistics. If they determine that 5% of the people will have a house fire and that the average claim is $100, here's what happens. Of course, 95% of the people don't have a house fire, so they take it. That's $500 that they're going to have to pay out. Their expenses are, let's just say, $250. I just made that number up. It could be anything. And that would be things like, to run a company, to have adjusters. So they paid out $750 out of this $1,000. So $1,000 into the pool, $750 out of the pool, they made $250 profit. That's pretty simple. But what happens, though, is this. They've got that money. They've got your money, the 99 people that's paid the money into that pool. So here's what they do next. The stockholders come in and say, well, every year they go, well, now, wait a minute. We want more profits. Y'all are not generating enough profits for us. So the insurance company says, well, we'll invest that money. And they do in the stock market. The $1,000 that's not being used goes into the stock market. Let's just say they get 8% return, maybe 10, maybe 3, but let's say it's 8. So that's $80 on it. So total it up now. Profit plus the investment income, $330. Profit's gone up. Stockholders are happy, but next year, what do they say? We want more profits. Okay? No, and I'm not. This is true of all companies now. I'm just saying. I know it's true of insurance companies. So they want more profits. So if I'm the CEO and the president of this insurance company, I'm looking at it and I say, how can I make my stockholders more money? Well, I can raise the premiums. Well, if I raise the premiums, you're going to drop your policy. So I can't raise the premiums. I mean, I better not raise them too much too often. But what if I reduce payouts? Because, that's an expense that comes out of that pool. You have a car wreck, you make a claim, that's a payout. House fire, that's a payout. Well, if I could figure out some way to reduce these payouts, I could have more profits. My stockholders would be happy, and you know what? They might even give me a bonus. So here I go. I can't raise the premiums. I must reduce the payoffs. This is what they've done in a couple of instances. They've just said, we're just going to say no to if somebody files a claim. We're just going to say no. Don't care what it is. But they're pretty smart, these people that run the board of directors of insurance companies. So they're talking in the boardroom. And they say, if we do that, though, they're going to go down here and get Alan Brinkley. He's going to sue us. Or they're going to go get, famous trial lawyer somewhere, and they're going to take us to court. We don't need to do that now, because these juries, they'll get us, render verdicts against us. So what does court mean? It means judges and juries and laws we got to contend with. But you say, well, what if we can get the laws changed? Now, this is the boardroom talking now. And what if we can change how the judges and the jurors think about lawsuits, jury verdicts, and lawyers even? Any of this sounding familiar to y'all? Then I can make more money. If I can change their mind, I'll make more money for my stockholders. And maybe even me. I might get a bonus if I make more money for my stockholders. I know what I'm going to do. I'm going to team up with other companies, other big companies, because they will make more money too. Other insurance companies, I'm not going to stop there. Tobacco companies, pharmacies, doesn't matter, pharmaceutical companies. But I got to have a strategy. I can't just say I'm going to change somebody's mind. So we hold a big round table. We get all these smart executives and we say, what can we do here? These lawsuits costing us millions of dollars, cutting into our profits. What can we do? They say, well, let's take some of that money that we were spending on these lawsuits and let's see if we can't change people's minds. And if we do, if we can change these laws, we can change the judge's attitude, change the jurors, we might be on to something. Get those verdicts down. What happens if I do that?